Hot as a balloon, shoots up through the stony ground. There's no room, no space to rent in this town. You're out of luck, and the reason that you had to care, the traffic is stuck, and you're not moving anywhere. You thought you found a friend to take you out of this place, someone you could lend a hand in return for grace. It's a beautiful day. Sky falls, you feel like it's a beautiful day to let it get away on the road. But you got no destination in the mud, in the maze of her imagination.
Welcome, welcome everyone. Get on your feet, get on your feet. This is the One Heart Collective. You all know what to do. Let's bring that music up. It's a beautiful day for some of us. Some of you, it's a beautiful evening. Welcome. Stretch your body. Let's move. Come on, let's celebrate this beautiful Sunday, December 1st. Good morning, good evening. What are you grateful for today? Can we show some of those rooms and some of our beautiful global family? We are spanning from Hawaii to Australia, South Africa, London. There we go. There is everyone. Let me see you guys move your bodies. It's a beautiful day. Let's welcome and give a bunch of love to our beautiful global family. All right, you all know if you've been here before we take a seat, I want to see everyone give 3 heart-to-heart hugs, embrace each other, move into that heart space, pour that love into each other. There's our beautiful family. I've missed you all. It's been a month. Jay says someone cannot hear us. Is that everyone's experience? No, I don't think so, because I see people hugging, so it must be. Make sure you all take a nice big sip of water before you come and take a seat. Love these hugs. Oh my gosh, you all are so beautiful. Hi! Welcome! You all light my world up. My goodness. Can you believe it is December 1st of 2024? This is our 7th One Heart Collective. I could not be more proud, privileged, excited, and in awe and wonderment over what we have created. We have sent some real love to this planet, you guys. Give it up for you. Give it up for all that you've given. Give it up for the beauty of the collective that we've created. I love you all. Give yourselves a big hug. This is just a beautiful moment that we're all getting to share right now. And I appreciate all of you who are on this event with us. I know some of you, it might be your first time. And I just want to say to everyone here, what an honor and privilege it is to be able to connect around the world inside of our energy enhancement technology. Right now, our planet, I don't think I have to really tell anyone this, but I will recap it anyway for anyone who's missed out on this. We are going through a massive global shifting in consciousness right now. I don't know anyone in my personal world, including myself, who has not gone through a big or is going through a big transformation right now. Everything that is not in alignment to divine will and higher frequencies is coming up. It might feel a little scary at times, it might feel a little uncertain, but it's coming up to come out. We can't keep going on the way that we were going. The path that we were on was no longer sustainable. And Mama Nature, Mother Earth, she said, I changed my frequencies, and now it's time for all of us to start elevating and raising our frequencies. So all of you that have been called to the energy enhancement system as a means to enhance the energy and frequencies that you're emitting into the world, to emit greater degrees of health and wholeness. Those of you who have been drawn to the One Heart Collective, whether it's your first time or whether it's your 7th time, and I know we have a couple of you, at least I've seen some of you in the rooms that are here every single month with us. You've been called to something greater right now. This is bigger than just healing something and how many sessions and how many detox baths do we need. Today's event is all about what our global movement truly is, which is activating a higher frequency inside the hearts of humanity. And we're doing that by activating it first within ourselves. So I just wanted to give you all a huge, big thank you. And I want to recognize you for day in and day out what you're doing and who you're being and what we're all becoming as a collective. Stand still and be ready, because grace is coming and this planet is in the process of a beautiful dawning of a new day. So thank you so much for being here today. And before we bring out our guest panel, I want to actually grab my notes because we have some incredible experts. All 3 of our experts on the panel, actually there's 4, 2 of them are tuning in from the same location, but all 4 of our experts on today's panel are living and breathing these protocols, these answers, these suggestions and solutions that they're going to be providing for you today to accelerate your healing process, to accelerate your evolution process. You're getting it from people who are hands-on in the field, working day in and day out from their heart space. I truly would not bring anything other than the absolute best heart-centered people to you. So we are thrilled to bring our panel on stage, and let me grab my notes because I have some really great information to share with you about each one of our guest speakers. First and foremost, we're going to bring Dawn Campbell and J. Vince Cruz. They are the heart behind Quantum Light Wellness Center in Hillsborough, New Jersey. Their passion for raising consciousness and holistic wellness shines as they provide a nurturing space for members to explore different cutting-edge healing modalities, which includes the EE system technology. As certified experts in BioWell technology, they've skillfully completed over 1,200 scans in their center, showing the transformative before and after effects on the human energy field and the energy centers, also known as chakras. Dawn and Jay foster a welcoming environment. I can vouch for that. I have been down there. They foster a welcoming environment that supports personal growth and transformation for optimal health and well-being. Jay and One Heart, can you all get on your feet and help me give a big warm welcoming as we bring Dawn and Jay up to our virtual stage? Here they come. There you are. Hi, welcome. Thank you so much. Welcome to the One Heart Collective. Let's send them some love, everyone. Big round of applause.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you so much for joining us. All right, and next we're going to bring up Alistair Jessel. He is going to be tuning in with us from just outside of London, UK. A little bit about Alistair's background. His father, Sir Charles Jessel, was an eminent nutritionist who received his degree at the age of 60 from the Institute of Optimum Nutrition in London, UK. He later went on to become the president of the Institute, and during that time, he helped educate 2 of his 3 children into a life of healthy living. He died at age 97, nearly 3 years ago. Fast forward to August 2022, the interview between Jason and Sandra that was shown to Alistair, the one that's coming on stage. By October, he had ordered a 24-unit system and began the first in UK and the first of 5 centers in Europe that hold the EE system technology. Alistair invested $3 to $4 million into his London clinic to ensure that it was fully stocked with the bath salts, disabled access all throughout, and to be able to offer low-cost healing to those that needed it badly but struggled to afford it. Alistair specializes in treating cancer clients and has seen some incredible tumor reversals. He also has not lost a single client who has come to him with terminal stage 4 cancer, and these were clients who have not gone through chemo. His first and the first ever European EE System Conference was held in April this year, and the next one will be held in London on March 22nd and 23rd of 2025. Please help me give a big, warm, One Heart welcome to our dear Alistair Jessel. Welcome, Alistair. Hi, there you are. Oh, I love the music with the night sky, the backdrop. Thank you so much for being on. And next, we're going to bring to the stage Dr. Jenny Xu. She is a lifestyle medicine physician, health and wellness coach, hypnotherapist, Huna energy healer, and she is the founder of Wellness Visions with a mission to empower people to heal through education, coaching, science and technology, and, this one's important, community. The Wellness Vision Center in Richmond, California features the 24-unit energy enhancement system. She is also an educator and scientist with ongoing research in lifestyle and EE system with a focus on, ladies, are you listening? Youth and longevity. Who's happy to hear about that? Let's give it up for Dr. Jenny Xu. Let's bring her up on stage. There we go. There she is. Hello. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
So lovely to have you all. Thank you so much for being here. It's such a true privilege and honor to share a stage with you all. I'm going to take a seat because I know we're in this for a red hot minute, and I enjoy sitting down too. Okay, so before we get started and we open up to all of the questions that were submitted, and we can't go over every question, but we tried to pull some of the most commonly asked questions that we see online in the groups and that we all felt would be collectively the most value that we could add to all of you. But before we open the circle for the Q&A, I wanted to start by opening our actual circle today, and I wanted to get each one of you, if you could, to answer this question about your experience with the technology. What is one truth or awareness or thing that you've seen, awareness that you've come into in your time being a steward of the EE system technology that you now cannot unsee? So something that changed your view of the world, reality, science, nature, humans, biology, whatever it is. What is one truth that you've discovered on this sacred journey that you now can't unsee, and what insight did that give you about what the real purpose is of this mission that we're all collectively on? And if somebody has if they want to go first, pop the hand up or whatever. Whoever wants to jump in first, we're ready for you. Dr. Shu?
So thank you for everyone present, and it's just amazing to connect with the whole EES family. I think one of the amazing revelations, and just to give you a little background, I came from a very traditional Western medicine model, and I knew I had to leave. But as I left, I was really fortunate to learn about many different modalities of healing. However, when I found out about the E system and heard the interview of Dr. Sandra Rose Michael by Jason, like many of you, we were just really uh, happy to find a technology that was going to be amazing. And I knew I had created Wellness Visions a year before, that I knew that this was the right thing. I did take a look at the testimonials as well as the research. I have had a science background. I've conducted research. And so, but very important for me is caring for people all these years. And so one thing, that once I realized what the potential was, I signed up with the E system even before I tried it. I was so committed to it. But part of that story was really understanding that E system helps in so many ways, especially in balancing the left and right brain, as you all know. But what I realized is that in my career, I had been very much left brain, the logical side. But then with the path I had been taking, especially in the last 4 years, as I left medicine, I didn't want to really participate in just the way that care had been provided. And I was really moving into a more holistic way of treating people. And as a lifestyle medicine, we talk about nutrition and exercise and managing emotions. And what I realized that our path is also develop our right brain. And sort of for me, it was so important to develop the intuitive side. And I feel that that was what the calling was for me to just join the EES network. So that was a background, but I'm sure, like many of you, you've seen so many amazing transformations, not only physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And so I just wanted to kind of, again, round out how complete the E system is, because I've seen, again, many people who struggled with many emotional, mental issues, which I am trained in biological decoding. Many of our physical ailments are actually tied into that. And so the other thing that I cannot unseen is, for me, with my background in science, I was aware of people such as, if you are familiar with Cryon and Lee Carroll, that there was a quantum 24th chromosome, and there were additional layers of DNA that have not been active. And so this was a question that I talked to Dr. Sandra personally. And there's a lot more that will be coming out into even the mainstream science. There are already scientists like quantum biologists, but as they understand the true human potential, it will just explode into what we're all capable of doing. And yes, there are already people who are training, whether it's scientists studying our true human potential, such as telepathy, telekinesis, levitation. These may seem fantastical, but it's actually within the human potential, including longevity and youthing, which I'll talk about later. I just wanted to give everybody a perspective of where we're heading, which is amazing future.
Yeah, thank you so much. We didn't get to hear each other's answers, and that is a stunning answer. And you said something that struck me that I haven't even fully thought of before. I talk about the brain balance, but to go into that right brain and to emulate the creator, we have to become more creative. And our society has put us in that lockhold of the mental model and the logistics and all of that, and it's kept us from part of that spiritual evolution into that creative side. Thank you. That was a beautiful, and everything else you said too, our human potential. And that's what I think these are really about, is maximizing our human potential. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Who is going to follow that? Who would like to follow up that answer? Dom.
Good morning. Thank you for this opportunity, Emily, and it's awesome to be in community with everybody this morning. Um, what what didn't I see before that I see now that I can't unsee? It's kind of interesting. My journey started before the EE system, and what I saw then has only been actually reaffirmed by participating in this and actually gone deeper. And I can't unsee the deeperness part of what I started to see before. And the lesson that I was learning for myself was actually follow your heart. And when I say follow your heart, for what is right and best and true for you in all decisions, never making a decision from a place of fear, but really from a place of empowerment that comes from the trueness of your heart, the divine leading of your heart. And in doing this, I've discovered there's actually two stages to following your heart, right? That first stage is recognizing that the darkness actually can't hide when we're following our heart. And this really entails acknowledging that we have a fear. That's really what it is. And then the second stage is recognizing that there's really nothing you want to hide when you're following your heart, even if you could, right? And this step is really all about escaping the fear that you are actually in that moment. And by staying in the fear, we create more resistance in our being. And that's what prevents us from actually feeling well and actually prevents our body from maximizing its ability to heal, is holding on to the truth that isn't ours, or somebody else's expectations of us, or old beliefs that are no longer serving us. And so that's reaffirmed time and time again by being in the center and serving members and just creating that sacred space for members to trust what their own bodies are telling them, and to have agency over that and to decide for themselves by tuning into their own heart, what the divine is leading them to do, and to have the courage to take that step. Sometimes we get so caught up, well, we're at the bottom of the mountain, we're looking at the top of the mountain. It's like, how do I get from here to there? And some of us, and I know I'm one of them, maybe you are too, you got to have the whole plan and project laid out in front of you before you even take the first step. And when we're following our heart, the divine calling, God and the divine don't ask us to jump from the base of the mountain to the peak in one leap. It's a step-by-step journey. It's a faith walk. And so the asking is one step at a time. And when that calling to take the step occurs, it's just one step. And we're never asked to take a step from our heart. We're never asked to take a step that we're not already equipped to take, ever. But sometimes we prevent ourselves from taking it because we haven't figured out all the other steps. So allowing ourselves to trust our heart, connect back in learning. Sometimes we have to relearn how to do that. Some of us have forgotten, but allowing ourselves to trust ourselves and to take that next step. And then when we arrive on that step, allow for the divine to orchestrate the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. And over a period of time, you're climbing that mountain. And you're able to then look down and it's like, holy cow. Like the places that you have been, I know I sound like Dr. Seuss right now, that book, the places we've been, you look down, it's like unbelievable. And not only is it unbelievable, it's a lot of fun too. It's an adventure. It's unpredictable. It is sometimes nerve-wracking, but it's always to your greatest good. I have found I could never come up with a plan that's better for me than the one that God and the divine is leading me on ever. And so that's probably the greatest lesson I've learned, and it's been reaffirmed over and over and over again with members on their journey too. Yeah, I can't unsee that, and I don't wish to go back to the old. I
How could
can't.
you? Yeah, how could life be anything other than that divine dance of perfection on our way to these beautiful peaks of love? It really just comes back to the essence of everything is reconnecting to love. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful
It's complete
explanation of
peace
that.
and freedom.
It is. It really
Hmm.
is. Love and gratitude.
Mhm.
Jay, is
Hmm.
there anything
Sure.
that
Yes, I'd be glad to. Thank you, Emily. So one of the things I love the question about truth and what we cannot unsee. So many different things, and the EE system certainly just reinforces some of the things that I've come to know before the EE system. But with having an experience of the EE system and learning more about the EE system, all the more do I believe that words carry an energy, frequency, vibration. There's power in our words. I'd like to invite Jeremiah to bring up a graphic, for this. And you'll see with this graphic here, this is the thing that I can't unsee anymore. Looking at the bottom, oftentimes members come to us in a place of sometimes I can't, or I wish, or I hope this works. And sometimes we have members who come and they're saying, I pray or I believe. And we've had others who come here and say, I know. And so as you work your kind of up the scale, the most powerful words we can say is I am. I have personal lived experience with this prior to the E system, but seeing this, I can't unsee this, especially when we are working in relationship with our different members. It kind of gives us an indication of where they're at in their consciousness. There's an energy in these words. So when they think it and they express it through their throat, as we know, with the throat chakra, often deals with truth. And the reason why there's this energy with the words is oftentimes there's truth coming out with the words. Sometimes the words that come out aren't fully truthful. And so that can happen too. And that's why, we often talk about words being like a sword. SWORD includes the word word, like a spiritual word, sword. And sometimes that swords can be so powerful because you're speaking the truth, standing in your power of the truth. At the same time, if the words are not truthful and you're hiding in the shadow of truth, in denial of truth, or in the absence of truth, that sword can be very hurtful in other ways. So it's interesting, this idea of energy and our words and how that comes through with truth. It's one of the things I cannot unsee is so when I hear and having conversations with people, I'm always like listening for what's the truth? What's their truth? Is there an aspect of the truth that they haven't embraced? And so like, what with doing all these energy scans, one of the things we've come to know is that energy doesn't lie. And so we find that sometimes people will tell us a story and then we scan them and we see something different in the scan, the light energy. And that light energy, that light, from the Kirlian photography, we could see truth in that light as well. And sometimes it's not the same as what they told us. And so one of the things we would learn with being practitioners is that energy doesn't lie and to trust the scan. And in some cases, we're reading the scans and, we didn't hear the full story, but the story becomes clearer as we share what we see in the light energy. And so sometimes here, there's that conversation to raise consciousness around, what's going on, what's the truth. And sometimes, even if their belief around their experiences, I pray, I believe, or I know, we're working on helping to elevate the consciousness of our members so they could have the best possible experience, so they could be in tune with their truth. which we often find coming from the heart, as Dom was talking about earlier. So that's one of the things that I can no longer unsee is the truth that we find in people's words and the truth that we could see from their light energy.
Wow, that is absolutely incredible. Thank you for sharing that. And you bring up a really good point that I want to re-emphasize a little bit to the people who are on this event as participants who are attending time in these systems. These are energy enhancement systems. So while they are programmed with all kinds of information to upgrade and recalibrate your DNA and your cells and how everything functions, there's nothing that will override your free will to choose your truth. So what he just said is such an important principle to remember when you're spending time in here. It is enhancing your truth at the same time. So coming into that awareness of, is there a greater truth? So I might only see this, and I might think life is this, and I might think I'm this, but always keep that curiosity. Is there a greater truth to me, my story, who I am, what my story means, what this illness means? Very wise words. Thank you so much for bringing that up. And next we have Alistair. Do you need me to repeat the question? I think you already know the question though.
I know the question, but I'm going to actually come in from a completely different angle. Something that is very, very different here. When I had my system set up, it was the room wasn't particularly square, so we ended up putting a cross on the ceiling for the laser so that we made sure that we got the center of the room. When I stand now in the room, I always look up at the center of the room, at that cross, and it is a cross on the ceiling. And I think to myself, how on earth did Nikola Tesla do this? How did Dr. Sandra pull this all together? I sort of think it wasn't there. Now I've seen that cross. I can't unsee it. And every time I go into the room, believe it or not, I look up at that cross. There's something very, very special that a few people, unlike all of us, have managed to bring this system to the world. And I often ask myself how clever they were. How did they do it? It's so incredible. How many people who are watching this now actually understand the technology and stand in the middle of the room and look up at the center and think everything is colliding there? We are being healed in the center of the room. How does that happen? And I think the second thing that I saw that I couldn't unsee was very early on, I had somebody in my center who had had 3 strokes, and he came in, and he's actually on one of my testimonials. He basically came in as a vegetable. He was lifted into his chair. He had no ability to speak, move, do anything for himself. And he'd been like that for a couple of years. And it was pretty much his last hope. And secretly in my heart, I thought I really would love him to heal himself. But actually, practically, I think we all thought there was no hope whatsoever for someone who had no movement whatsoever. And I didn't see him for a little bit, for a few days. And I came in to the EE room about 5 days later after he'd done 5 nights. And I walked into the room and I was expecting just to see this man doing nothing. And he put his hand out to shake me and he said, "Thank you." And I burst into tears. Just seeing a man for whom life had really stopped, and he's got his life back. And that is the power of what we're doing here.
It's beautiful.
And that was a very emotional point for me. And I think that was something that really drove me on, knowing that what we have is very powerful. And a lot of people are very quick to slag off the EE system. But the fact that we are able to see people heal themselves, I don't think people fully realize how many other people are affected by the recovery of the people that we see in our that we see in our centers. And that sometimes when one person heals, you are actually affecting maybe up to 20 people who depend on that person. And we only see one person healing, but actually it's a whole family. And we are creating a movement way beyond what a lot of us feel. We just think we have somebody coming in, but actually we're affecting a lot of people in the world.
I completely agree. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's beautiful.
That's it.
You actually, you tie into what I want to share that I can't unsee. It's that when we're here, we're healing as a byproduct of what we're doing. When we're plugging people in, when we're plugging ourselves in, because people are going to follow the resonance that's in our center. When we're plugging into this heart space, this higher frequency, this I almost call it a womb, this beautiful ecosystem, and we're tuning into that thriving energy and elevating what we are, it now creates a container where someone else can come in and do that same thing. And then what happens is as they start to elevate themselves, they're going out and they're the ones touching all the lives around them. It's not about the single person who's healing, as you're saying. It is about this much greater ecosystem of resonance that we're creating in the world. So those of you on this event, it's why I tell you every month, you're the world changers. You're drawn to this. You're coming here to these events to heal the planet, to send love. You're getting up at these crazy hours. Some of you are in pajama parties at midnight and it's 12:30 a.m. right now. Other people, it's 4 a.m. I mean, we're all over the world. You have been called to something so much bigger. The healing is a side effect of this much greater collective energy that you're being called and you're actively part of right now, just by virtue of the fact that you're here today to open your heart, to expand your mind, to learn more from these great resources that we have, to expand what you are, but then to pour that back into others. And that's the greatest thing that I can't unsee about this technology and about this movement is that, yes, it is about every stage of the process, and there's a greater meaning unfolding in our greater collective mission that I'm seeing. And I'm just from hearing the three of you talk, none of us pre-rehearsed this, by the way. It's clear that we are all in a collective of energy that is blooming into something even bigger than I think we all originally saw. So what a gorgeous way to start off our Q&A. Thank you. Okay, so to get into some of the technical stuff, on our questions, I think I'm going to start off with the biological upgrades. One of the questions that came in is, since science has confirmed that the shorter the telomeres are can lead to cancers, since research also says that the EE system can lengthen telomeres, can you give some indication of the EE system exposure to accomplish that? And part two, are there any actual increases that any of you are aware of that have been measured? I don't have the answer to that. I'm really glad to have you guys around. Whoever would like to start off. Yeah, thank you.
Well, I'm happy to answer that, though. I know Alistair, Dom, and Jay, they have, I'm sure, information they can share as well. And one of the things that's really important, and I'm going to tie in things that all three of the other panelists shared, is that we actually are connected to the divine. We're all connected to the creator, and we're all connected to each other energetically. So the fact that there is power in a community, whether it's in our center or globally, it has an impact on our well-being. Because what affects really the telomeres is, because it's important to know, is really ultimately, yes, what's external. And unfortunately, we do live in a toxic environment between EMF and ELF, 5G, just a lot of radiation. And unfortunately, there's a lot of pollution in our air, or water, or soil. And there's also, though, a lot of the focus right now is our inner spiritual growth and connecting to our heart, as Don put it, and to get into coherence between our brain, our conscious mind, and really getting aligned with our body, which is represented by our subconscious and unconscious self. and we're always connected to our higher sacred self, our higher superconscious self. And why that's really important to know is that we are beings of energy. So when we're talking about telomeres or any health conditions, we've been conditioned to believe that these are, uh, let's say, static processes, but they're actually dynamic and they can change. And it depends on, yes, energy you put into your intentions for your healing. Well, that's why, we advise all our members coming in all centers to have a very specific intention of what you want to do. And it could be lengthening your telomeres, for example. And there's other things that I will share in the future, but about telomeres. And the telomeres, for those who don't know, are just the ends of chromosomes and they help stabilize our chromosomes. And we have a vast amount of information stored into our chromosomes that, some scientists, they call it quote unquote junk. It's really not junk. There's so much potential stored in that. But how the telomeres can also be reflective is kind of the stress that we put on ourselves, even either internally from our thoughts and our emotions, but also externally. So it's helpful to know exactly what telomeres are and how they can be impacted. But just like telomeres and how it's the connection to dis-ease, this is all changeable. This is all potentially reversible. And science backs that. And that's why I actually became a lifestyle medicine, because there is science that goes back to Dr. Dean Ornish at UCSF long ago that showed the reversibility of heart disease. And what I would say is that in terms of measuring telomeres, yes, research labs that can look at this in a way that they can measure it directly. And what I can say is that there are actually wonderful tests that you can measure indirectly by something called the epigenetic expression. And that's really important because you actually have control on how you express your genes. And what Jay mentioned about that there is power in words is part of that. So what are you saying to yourself? What are the words about? Are you aging? Are you youthing? So that matters. And a lot of, this is a very broad strokes, a lot of conditions are based on not loving yourself or not feeling loved, not feeling worthy. And these are old paradigms that we can let go, whether it's individually in this lifetime or people are open to past lives as well as this is part of the conditioning of being on planet Earth, is that Earth is really kind of a school, so to speak. And everything we experience from the highs and the lows, those are potential for lessons for us to grow. But to the point of just the percentage of telomeres, that's a more challenging thing to measure, but indirectly, and I know this will kind of go into just some highlights of a study I've been conducting at Wellness Visions, and shout out to Wellness Visions. I'm not at the center, I'm traveling, but I have 14 members there right now. But the study included 26 participants at my center, and we saw that there was slowing down of aging, which is also a dynamic measurement, just like measuring blood pressure, and also reversing biological age as opposed to what we call the chronological age. And so that's really exciting to see that there is that potential that you can measure that. So I hope that gives some answers to that question. And, if there anything else that anybody else would like to add to that, that would be wonderful.
Sure, I'll add to what Dr. Shu said. This idea of measuring telomeres and how things have changed over time, where telomeres is becoming a little bit dated, it's an interesting question about measuring. And so oftentimes when we're trying to measure something, it's towards something bigger. And here, like there was some marketing around millivoltage, understanding that the body is electrical, healing is voltage with, Dr. Jerry Tennant's work. And so when you take a look at this idea of measuring, ideally, we want to be able to measure these different things. It can be helpful clues as to how you're doing, but some of the measurements are not so easy to do. especially, when you're taking a look at cell membrane voltage and things like that. So it's not easy to go to a center and say, oh, can you measure my millivolts? It's just not practical. And in some cases, with some of the testing, it can get a little bit pricey. And
Yes.
so, not everyone has not everyone may want to spend the money for telomere testing or other things related to that to get to have that. But one thing that we do provide as an example that is pretty accessible is the BioWell energy scan. It measures energy. We know the body is energy, and we measure energy in terms of joules, not millivolts. And yes, there's a relationship between the two, but it's a little bit complex. And so there's an easy conversion to go from one to the other. And so when we take a look at our wellness, yeah, you could think in terms of telomeres, but I like to think in terms of joules. And looking at the overall average energy of the body, the energy that's running through the different organ systems. Also taking a look visually at the energy field to see if there are disturbances, because that you cannot see in the numbers so easily. It's displayed in a picture, and it's hard to sometimes put numbers to a picture. And so when we look at the human energy field in the energy scan, we can see areas where there's hyperactivity, hypoactivity, where there's disturbances, where there's shootouts, where there's like toxins collecting and things like that. And so there's a wealth of information that's displayed in picture. And sometimes, coming down to a number, it's not so easy. But yeah, there's a number of different numbers that we can look at um, to kind of assess and see where we are in our wellness journey. And so we love the tool, the BioWell Energy Scan. And we find that our members love it too here. And it's been something that they use to help track how they're doing. Doing telomere studies, I mean, like, yeah, you could do it with maybe some frequency, but the energy scanning is with the BioWell, to me, seems very practical and accessible for centers to potentially adopt if they haven't made use of something like that. And just related to that, if you're interested to learn more about that, Dom and I host a monthly gathering for those EE system center gatekeepers and stewards that if they'd like to learn more about BioWell, you can join for free.
Yeah, we're happy to share our experience with it.
Yeah.
It's something that is proven very useful for our members in their wellness journey. So
yeah, so sometimes with this question like telomeres, sometimes I kind of wonder, are they asking the right question? Maybe it's a different question. Maybe we're looking at measuring energy, measuring the light energy. For those who've read more into Dr. Saunders' work about body of light, it really ties in with that. And for those who have reviewed like the EE system manual and taking a look at what she has displayed about chromotherapy with the biophotonics of the EE system, you'll see how BioWell very clearly displays that light energy with the energy centers, with the chakras, where you could take a look at the alignment and the size of the chakras. That's a whole nother conversation, but that's kind of our general answer around this question about telomeres.
And to Dom and Jay's point, yes, I was really amazed at how accurate it is because I was an internal medicine doctor for a couple of decades, more than a couple of decades. So I'm well versed in just diseases in the organ systems. And yes, after 1 hour on my 24 unit, my joules went from 46 to 50. And, and when I show people the results, joules per second is like a watts, right? So it's like lighting up a light bulb or energy. And my chakra alignment went from 84 to 94%. And I learned from Dom and Jay that above 90 is ideal. So that I was happy to see that since the chakras represent our energy centers. But yes, being able to see kind of the balance between the parasympathetic and sympathetic system is really key because we're going to heal when we're balanced in our energy centers. And the connection kind of with just the youthing part is actually activation of stem cells. And I look at youthing from the aspect of health because when you can decrease your biological age by 7 years, you decrease by more than about 54% your risk for disease, but it represents your body's potential to heal. And, when I talked to Dr. Sandra, she said that some of these testing used to be like $5,000. But, the kits are much more affordable. They're at-home kits from company called True Diagnostics. So it's still, there's a cost. So it's about just under 500, but it is a way to kind of see what you're doing from your lifestyle changes, your nutrition, to exercise, being in the E system. Is really the parameter that was unique amongst our study participants, was that they had 52 hours of being in the E system in the 24 unit. But I think the point of that we're all beings of energy, really the most important, when we're talking about youthfulness and vitality and telomeres, is what you hold and at heart. Are you thinking that you've got great energy and you're looking forward to the things that you want to do, and you want to stay active, and you want to have a great quality of life, and really thinking about Alistair's story? We have just that's an amazing story to hear about people who have a new path towards living again.
Yeah. Wow. That was incredible. I think that question was answered so thoroughly, and I appreciate all that I learned from all of you. And Dom and Jay, expect a visit from me and expect me to be on those monthly calls. I've heard of the BioWell. It's been circulating in my orbit. I feel like now is the time. It's been getting closer and closer, and just hearing even deeper from both of you about that is beautiful. What a wonderful resource to measure and to keep people going on that right path to that truth. If we're ready, I'm going to move on to the next. Is there anything, Alistair, that you'd like to add to that before we move on to the next?
Well, there's a lot I could, but I think probably you'd prefer to move on.
It's up to you. I mean, this topic is actually I think it's a very important one. So it's completely up to you. The next topic is going to be on detoxing.
Yeah. Okay, well, we are on obviously a very, very big topic here, and I'm much more at the practical level, and I'm afraid I don't have degrees in all the scientific world, but I'm very much on the ground. And I think that the link between telomeres and cancer is not something that I look at, but I would say that there's absolutely no doubt that people are de-aging in the EE system. And when I see clients, especially those in their 60s and 70s and even 80s, who've done 200-300 hours, there is absolutely no doubt at all that they look 10 years younger. Their wrinkles have gone, their skin looks fantastic, they do look amazing. So that is just the practical side, no theory, just looking at them. And I ask them, what do your family say? What do your friends think about it? And they say, yep, they're all saying I look younger, which is great. So they've come to heal, but actually the fact that they look younger means that their telomeres are going in the right direction. So that's the one thing that I would say. Obviously, I have a lot of experience now in cancer, and I don't want to spend too much time on this. And I would say that the EE system does go a long way towards reversing a lot of people's cancers, but not everybody's. And I think that having seen quite a number of Facebook comments on I've done 300, 400 hours and my cancer's still there, it hasn't progressed, is the reason why I have red light therapy. I have a hyperbaric oxygen chamber, and I recommend people to look at things like chlorine dioxide, ivermectin, and fenbendazole. And obviously, these sort of things are illegal in those last three items are illegal in Europe. And I'm sure that a lot of people don't recommend them in the US. But in terms of additional inexpensive items to add to the cancer protocols, they are definitely worth considering.
Yes, and I think the goal, you're right, and I've heard a lot of really good feedback about the hyperbaric oxygen specifically being used in conjunction with the energy enhancement system. And I think that in the US, we are moving forward towards legalizing those. So that's going to open up new doorways for a lot of us that don't have that ability to prescribe certain things that you just mentioned. Thank you for bringing that into the equation. It is a very big piece of it. On the topic, just to move along, because we're going to close out this circle in a minute, but I want each of you to have plenty of time, at least about 4 or 5 minutes to tell what your most touching story is. But before we close out our technical things on the Q&A, the topic of detoxing, I see it come up very, very often in the groups. A lot of people can't do the baths or they don't have a sauna. I recommend things like castor oil and chia seeds to get the intestines moving. And you have to get the minerals up because the body can't properly detox without the minerals. But I wanted to open this up to you all. One of the questions was if they can't do a detox bath, what would be an alternative? And then it's it was two questions and it was two different people with a similar question. How many foot baths or detox baths are needed to remove and not reabsorb toxins after a 10-hour overnight in the EE system? If a 2-hour requires one bath, I personally, there's trying to say if it's an overnight, you need to do a longer or more of a detox protocol than if it's a 2-hour session. So that's just a side piece to the main thing is I want to open up the discussion about proper ways to detox and remineralize. Because if we're not remineralizing, it's actually not safe to be doing all this energy work and detoxing. We must be getting those minerals. That's part of the detox process. We kind of almost make it like it's two separate things. And I tell my clients, you get your energy up. That's 1/3 of the equation through the EE system, Mother Nature, earth, grounding, loving, gratitude journaling. You have to get the toxins out because it's a natural byproduct that happens when you raise the body's frequency. And then you have to put the minerals back in. We do not produce them ourselves. We have to get them from our environment. It's stripped from our environment unless you're growing your own food and fortifying your soil. It's a single process. I tell them it's 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, and they are equally as important. So before we move on to all of our beautiful stories, your guys' most transformative story that you've had, I want to at least cover this topic, and I'm sure we're going to get some great ideas, solutions.
Okay, can I start?
Absolutely.
I think I was the first EE system I have 7 baths actually on my site, which is where pretty much all my investment went. When I first started reading about people on the Facebook page talking about not healing or not having baths, it became paramount in my mind that having baths on site was incredibly important, because a lot of people in the US were driving many miles to an EE center. They were spending hours in the EE center and then many hours to get home. And by the time they get home, they're too tired to have a bath. And in the morning, they've completely forgotten about it. So to me, the bath is 50% of the treatment. And we're very strict on getting clients knowledgeable about having a bath. And obviously providing, in London, at least 1/3 of all Londoners don't even have a bath on site because the land is so valuable, they've converted it into a bedroom. So the bath element is extremely important. We also offer the magnesium spray free of charge, so people can have a bath and afterwards spray themselves with magnesium oil. And that just comes as part and parcel of the package. But for those that don't have a bath and need to get home and want to have a foot bath, my worry is, which is why I explain to a lot of people when they say I'm going to go home and have a foot bath, is just plonking your feet in a bath of salt water really isn't sufficient. And I advise people to wash down their arms, to wash down their legs, to wash as much of their body, get as much salt on their body as possible. Because I don't believe just putting your feet in a foot bath is sufficient. I think it needs to be a lot more over the rest of the body. If necessary, wiping it around your shoulders, even over your face. But just 2 feet in a bath of salt water, to me, is not sufficient.
Do you have any suggestions if someone doesn't have a bath in their center and they don't have a bath in their home? Do you have...
Yeah, absolutely. They can put their feet in a bucket, but wash it all over you. No, don't just sit there with the feet in the bucket. You need to be washing it over your hands, over your arms, over your chest, over your legs, to get it all over. And that is better than just having your feet in a small tub.
That's a great idea. I tell people go get garbage cans and go as high up on the leg as you possibly can. Like get two of those office-sized garbage cans if you have to go higher up, and you can do it
Yeah.
in the shower. And that's a great idea. You can actually soak yourself in that ultra concentrate salt fluid, which is going to help pull through the skin. So there you
And
go,
and
everyone. You can do it in
and
the shower.
don't forget you've got the toxins on your skin.
Yep.
So they've got to be washed off. It's no good just leaving them there and thinking that's okay. You've got to rinse them off. It's a practical matter, but that is 50% of the healing.
Agreed. Thank you. That's very practical advice. Anyone else would like to open?
Add to that, and that's wonderful that Alistair has it at his center, and he's very right that, we do even advise people to get into a salt bath or do a detox soon afterwards within 24 hours or just as, because I agree with Alistair, it's really half of the treatment. Now, I know many of you might know this, but our skin is the largest organ of elimination. We think of liver and kidneys, but the skin is very valuable. So the most optimal is to do a salt bath. And I know some of our members will even go to a friend's house to do the salt bath. So, and I know it may be limited if in certain areas like London, it's just not readily available. But in addition to doing a foot soak, which is an alternative, we do have a hypercharged relaxed sauna at our center, and some of our members either have purchased one for their own home use that's hypercharged, so it's just like the medallions, or they have an existing relaxed sauna. So that is also using infrared technology, and it's a great detox as well. But really, the salt bath is a great option. So we tell people that if you have a shower, get a nice stable stool in your shower, mix a little bit of the salt with water, steam up the shower so you're warm, put it on your skin, leave it on, and then shower off. That's another way to do the detox. But just as important as the external type of detox, because you are moving toxins through the skin, and as in that process, it's almost like a filtration system. Our skin, it's able to release and pull out toxins directly, is an internal detox. And that's why for E-System owners, you all have information. If you go onto the E-System site where we purchase our medallions and other E-System products, there is a link where you can purchase Clarity, because this is a scalar enhanced product that does provide the mineral to what Emily brought up. That's really important to replace that. And we sell a scalar enhanced magnesium lotion for people after the detox. And obviously hydration, and if they can, we encourage people to, when they bring water bottles, to fill it up so they can go home with some scalar enhanced water. But if they have medallions or bracelets, they can use that on any water or food at home. And so we're beings of water. Most people, depending on age and gender, it's about somewhere up to around 70%. Some organs actually are much more, let's say, have a higher water density. But after the breath, which we all need to survive, number two is water. And actually, Dr. Sandra, one of her things that she brings up is that some of the aging issue is related to chronic dehydration. So I just also want to stress value of proper hydration and clean water as much as you can. So if you can filter it, or again, use the bracelets, the medallions, that is a great way to kind of move out the toxins in your body.
Thank you. So true. Very much important to keep the hydration in the intestines moving and the elimination organs flowing. Anything from New Jersey, or are we ready? Yeah, please go right ahead.
Yes. So just kind of tagging on to what Dr. Xu was sharing about the shower, totally agreed. Having that, being in a steamy environment can help open up the pores, make it easier to pull that out. We often think of the salt as being negatively charged and the toxins being positively charged, and it's like a magnet pulling it out. But the one thing to maybe connect some dots for some people that they may not have maybe raised consciousness about is, Dr. Sandra will use an analogy about a car wash and how long will your car stay clean. So here you've gone through your EE session, did your detox salt bath, or a shower with a salt scrub, and then oftentimes we find ourselves sometimes putting other things back on the skin, whether there's toxic material or things in the shampoo and conditioner, So Dr. Sandra also talks about how it's important to be mindful of what we put on the skin. Don't put anything on your skin that you wouldn't eat. So if you're using that as a litmus test, it raises another questions about how do we maintain all the work that you've done with having a session and going through the detox salt bath. So I just want to bring that to everyone's kind of consciousness to create awareness around what toxins might we be reintroducing into the body, whether it's through the mouth or externally, through our skin.
And I think I come from a completely different perspective on this. Like, I agree with everything that everybody has said in terms of like the detox bath, but something that is severely overlooked, and I have to share this, and it might take an extra minute or two, Emily, but I have to go here, is we talk about like the detox, and the detox is like a cleanse of our body, if you will. And we talk about putting salt on our body and not putting other things on our body and all of this, but like I'm approaching it a little bit from a different perspective here, and it's so important. And that is detoxing the inside of our body, not from a physical standpoint, but from a mental, emotional, and spiritual standpoint too. All right. And this is a practice of getting our bodies into sacred alignment. And I had a download a few weeks ago about this, and the word immaculate kept coming up for me. And when I thought about the word immaculate, I'm probably showing my age here, but remember the Mr. Clean commercials? The bald guy and he would have the scrub sponge, and they would show like immaculate floors if you buy this product, right? And it looked crystal clear, right? This is a form of detoxing, right? Clearing is a form of detoxing. Well, these other areas we need to clean up these other areas of our life as well. And so this idea of immaculate service, immaculate thought, and immaculate action in how we go about living our lives. When I say immaculate, I'm not talking about living in perfection. That's not the idea of immaculate here. It's the idea of intention. It's the idea of intention. So when I think about like immaculate service, this is living in service mindfully. How am I present with others? Am I serving other people from a state of presence? Am I there? Am I connected to what's going on in the present moment? Immaculate service from a place of excellence, quality. Am I giving the best from my heart and my knowledge to serve other people and to service myself as well? And then, as I mentioned before, heart-centered, right? Serving from that heart-centered intention. Then when I think about immaculate thought, having a positive focus, approaching things with that, empowering, hopeful, and aligned to higher values that we're being called to live into. Awareness and monitoring our own thinking around how we're using our minds. Are we manipulating other people, right? Or are we acting really from the heart? And then with immaculate thought, authenticity, really just being authentic to what's right and true and best for ourselves, so that then we can serve more powerfully others. And then lastly, the immaculate action part, because this is really where the rubber meets the road, right? We're talking about integrity, operating from a place in action with integrity of not just who we are, but to the deepest values, and not just once or twice, but like consistency, right? Integrity requires a level of consistency and commitment to ourselves on our healing journey. Otherwise, we're not going to have the same experience in the end. This requires a level of precision and care in our action. And then lastly, impact awareness as we take action. What's the impact of our action going to be? And being aware of that impact before we take the action, right? Operating with a state of wisdom. So those three things, immaculate service, immaculate thought, and immaculate action, when we think about detoxing our lifestyle, how we're showing up to that. This is a big, big, big part of what I see in members. The members who embrace this, consciously or unconsciously, go way, way further in their not just raising their level of consciousness, but they heal much more quicker too.
That truly is the model of healing. It's elevating the consciousness and the body follows. Part of why we have all of these toxins sticking in these particular areas is because there's a distortion in the energy field. So the body is
Yes.
not naturally purging it out. We already have
Mm.
biologically everything we need to deal with what's going on in the crazy world that we're in. It's the distortion. Thank you so much for bringing that in. That makes those light frequencies congregate. The law of resonance makes these lower vibrations all congregate together. It's a piece. You can't put water and fire on the same, you can't put water and fuel on the same fire and expect it to go out. So thank you so much for bringing that piece in. It really is the most important piece to the equation. It's the piece with which everything else will either go into flow or will be bumping up against rocky waters. Beautiful. That was certainly worth the few minutes. Thank you. To close our expert panel, beautiful circle that we have created, I want to give you all 3-4 minutes. I know I originally said 5, but as efficient as possible without editing your truth and your heart and your story. I would love to hear from each of you. Just something in your center, a person, an experience that is beautiful, sacred, heart opening that you'd like to share with our lovely audience today.
Sure.
I'll
be
you go first then. Go on. Off you go.
One of the things that we like to say at our center is that miracles happen when you make a powerful intention and commitment. It's, kind of goes back to this idea of word and intention, our consciousness playing a role in our healing journey. One of the things that we know through Dr. Sandra is the importance of love and what our members feel. And so, if I had to kind of prioritize like what's most important for our members and, for those who are running and operating our, the different centers throughout the world, is first love. Just like what Dr. Sandra says, love is the most important feeling. When you're in that high vibration, the toxins in the body, as you're working on healing from the inside out, will want to flow. You'll want to let go of those things that you might be holding on to. And so, yeah, a salt bath might help extract things out, but we have an active role to help release it, surrender. And so love, being number one. Number two, I would say most important in our member experience is their intention and commitment. And so like Wellness Visions, we invite our members to set a powerful intention, be specific, and use text like I am in that statement. I'm awakening the cells in my body to their optimal state of healing. I direct, instruct, code, command, and compel, let's say, my eyes to see perfectly and clearly, just as God designed it. Set an intention that's specific and powerful. And when you make a commitment to that, people show up different. And when you show up different, the results are different. When you're committed and you're consistent, you'll get consistent results. Those who show up with not a very powerful intention and a very low commitment, their experience is similar. If I had to name a third thing, yeah, maybe the number of units in the system. But that's how I would prioritize things. And we see this day in and day out. And, as center stewards, I just want to share like that piece of information with you because it's a common theme that we see across the ones who, go through that experience of coming like once a month and now they're tumor free versus someone who, comes once a month and they're still coming, there are things to be worked on. And typically the healing's coming from inside out. So you have to ask these other kinds of questions as to what else is going on.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Who would
Okay.
like to jump in? All right.
Shall I go next? I think one of the experiences that I had with one particular client who came in last year was the amount of medications that he was on. And I'm sure many of those sitting in the EE centers around the world who are watching this are on meds, and some of them on a lot of meds. And the guy that came in to me had a page full. In fact, there were so many I didn't even recognize most of the names of them. And he'd been through his windscreen, and he had smashed his skull, and he was having epileptic fits, migraines, and myokemia, and he was in a very, very poor way when he came in, and his body was degrading because of all the medications. And I'm sure many people will experience this, that after taking so many medications and them conflicting with each other, people's bodies start to deteriorate quite quickly. So he was in a lot of pain, and obviously the epileptic fits weren't very pleasant for him. But within under 100 hours, we'd got him down to about 10% of his epileptic fits, and his migraines had all gone. And before we even got to 150 hours, he was completely clear. No medications, no epileptic fits, no myokemia, and no migraines. And the power of what we have in our EE systems is truly astronomical, and its ability to get people to heal themselves without medication is it never ceases to amaze me. And it's very, very exciting, and to me is the future of where hospitals need to go, but I'm sure that they won't because of other reasons.
So I would put in just in response to Alistair, as Emily pointed out, there's a lot of changing energy. This whole year has been about clearing many layers, and we have to see ourselves as really divine source energy beings. And we are beyond really the physical body, but the physical body in its intelligence will transmute emotional or mental conflicts that we've had held on, and it will present, because as Dr. Sandra says, everything that presents physically, even if it's cancer, is meant to be cleared. And so this will be a shifting paradigm in so many levels in our society, especially the healthcare system. What we're seeing in the chaos is the old system coming down. And we are at the forefront of building the new structure of health and wellness, because our natural divine state is to be healthy and whole. And so this is part of the clearing that Don was talking about, that we have to be active. Why did the situation come up for me? What is it meant to teach me? How do I learn and grow from it? So it is very much heart-based, and it is time for us to shift into that frequency, because sometimes people can get caught up in it's about releasing our own judgment sometimes of ourselves and others, right? And moving down and just being open heart, open mind about what's going on around us. And would we like to be in this love frequency that is supported beautifully by the EE system? And yes, there's so many amazing stories that we hear from our members. I just love the stories because they're speaking their truth about what's happening. And there's so much power in that. I'm so grateful to our members. I'm grateful to our Wellness Visions team, and I'm sure you all feel the same way. I mean, our staff support are amazing, and giving the loves and support to our members and listening to them. And that's part of the healing journey. But as Emily pointed out, healing is a side effect, because we are meant to do much, much more. And so I would just invite people, because this is part of our journey, is to move towards what we want to see in our life. And that is so powerful. And that's actually why I chose to call my center Wellness Visions. What is the vision you want of great energy, lots of time for yourself to live fully, to have time connections with family and friends? And that is really such a powerful voice when you can actually engage in that process. And actually today, for those of you who are aware, is the new moon in Sagittarius. And so this is a powerful time to set your intentions about what you're wanting to create, especially as we're moving in 2025. Now, again, any human emotion is normal, whether it's fear or pain or having sadness or anger. It's then what you hold on to, because the science shows that we're really meant to express emotions for 90 seconds physiologically. After that, it may be whatever you choose to hold on to. And so when we can recognize that these are emotions and honor if you're having a lower frequency, like let's say emotion that can cause a lower frequency, it is your choice to decide if you're going to be able to shift into higher levels of consciousness and states of being. And so people can look at David Hawkins' levels of consciousness, because we are so powerful that when we let negative emotions and beliefs run our lives, it can be destructive. And so you ask yourself, you are always in control of your own perspective things. And how do you actually want to be every day in the moment? Is it love? Because love really does heal everything. And so how can you be loving mostly to yourself? Because you are the driver of your own being. Yes, there are things about other people that can be challenging, but what is also that relationship with somebody else? What does that mean to you about things that is coming up for you? Because, neurologically, we get a lot of input and we can only filter so much. But there's been a lot of conditioning and I'm not saying this is just part of the human process, especially in this first 7 years. So what are patterns of being, doing, having that we can release and move on in a healthier, conscious way? And so this is part of our journey to recognize that we hold the power, we hold the key, and it is within us. And so that would be the last thing I would just share and invite people to think about.
That's so beautiful. Thank you, all four of you. Thank you so much for all of your wisdom, all of your insights, all of your experience, what you're doing day in and day out, serving from the heart, setting that example, setting that vibration, keeping these sacred containers and holding them in the highest way that they can be held. And Dr. Shu, you said something that just struck me that I think I want to share with everybody, that wherever you're at on your journey, if you feel like you're flat on your back, if you're pushed down, your face is in the mud, just remember there's wisdom inside all of it. And the more wisdom you're being shown, there's a reason that the deeper the wound, the greater the feedback, the greater the message that you're being called, because you're being called to a greater degree of love. You're being called to a greater degree of service. Whatever you are, wherever you're at and whatever it is you're going through, if you think, oh, it's too much, I can't, I don't know how, you're being prepared for something bigger than you can even imagine on the other side of it. So the wisdom that we just learned today from these four expert panels, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the screens, from our 4 expert panels today, I hope that some of it reached your heart and gave you that fuel that you need to keep moving, keep going. We are on the front lines of building a new world. It's not a theory. This is not the new age, all that. This science is proving what we are doing right now is the real truth. It's divine law. It cannot and it will not be stopped. So enjoy the process as much as you can. Smile and laugh at the pain, the challenges as much as you can. Come back to the heart. It is such an honor to share this with other gatekeepers and stewards. I think I speak for all of us when I say we have this technology because we are all of the same mindset that we are working towards building a world where we no longer need this technology. And that's with you all. We're the gatekeepers and the stewards, but that's through you all that movement is happening. So wherever you are, we see you, we love you, we honor you, and we invite you to do the same thing for yourself. We have to go on a quick bathroom break because we're going to be doing a glorious meditation from another system owner in Colorado, in Denver area. And we want to give you guys a quick 5-minute break. Again, thank you so much, expert panels. And I invite you also to stay on on the for the meditation. We're going to be raising the frequency really high and integrating it all into our being so that we again walk out as that fully evolved, fully whole, healthy, vibrant being into the world. So take a big sip of water while you're up, give a couple heart-to-heart hugs, and we will see you back here in 5 minutes. I will also, at the end, we're going to be doing a very beautiful closing process. So don't leave after the meditation. And I will be giving everyone information on how, on our next event, and on how to connect to all of the experts on our panel. So we'll see you back in 5.
Walking back from your house, walking on the moon. Walking back from your house, walking on the moon. Feet they hardly touch the ground, walking on the moon. My feet hardly make a sound, walking on the moon. Walking on the Some may say I'm wishing my days away. No way. If it's the price I pay, some say tomorrow's another day. You say. Steps are what you take, walking on the moon. I hope that my legs don't break, walking on the moon. We could walk forever, walking on the moon. We could live together, walking on.
It feels like nothing is around, still stepping. Heels toward the ground, feet ain't touching nothing. Nothing is the matter when we're walking on the moon. Michael Jackson action, fresh out of our cocoons. I wanna live in your house and go about the rooms. Don't care about the whereabouts, the glow is so in tune. Weightless giants, not even police can catch. Achieving the highest bliss, free of the beaten path.
Some may say I'm wishing my days away. No way. If it's the price I pay, some say tomorrow's another day. You say, so I might as well play. Giant steps are what you take, walking on the moon.
to your seats. We'll be getting started in just under a minute.
Some may say I'm wishing my days away, no way, so I might as well play.
Let's welcome back to the screen, Emily.
Hello, welcome back. I hope everyone had a joyful release and some hydration. Before we bring our meditation leader on to the stage, I just wanted to give you a little backstory about the purpose of this meditation. This is a fellow center owner, a fellow center steward. His name is Paul Fry. I had the privilege of getting to meet Paul when I was on my road trip, and I was over in the Castle Rock, Denver area. He has a beautiful 36-unit energy enhancement system, very cozy, very relaxing. The chairs are unbelievable. So Paul received, when Paul and I initially met each other and connected for the first time, we just instantly clicked. He came over to dinner with the host that I was staying with, and we just found so much alignment. Paul actually had these really cool goggles. I had this mission to see UFOs, and he brought these goggles, and he fulfilled that mission. I saw all these things flying in the sky. But anyway, when we had spoken, he had heard about the One Heart Collective, and he said, you know, I've done meditations. If you'd ever like me to come on, I'd be happy to do so. And for this event, I was like, what should we do for the meditation? Because there's so much going on in the world. There's so much coming to the surface, coming to light within ourselves. It's happening on the micro, and it's also happening on the macro. So as I was tuning in for the end of the year and what is in the highest and greatest good and service to our beautiful, sacred One Heart Collective, the answer was Paul. And sure enough, he received that. He's like, let me think about it. And that night, he received a complete download instantly, what to do. And the purpose of this meditation is to strengthen our collective heart-centered community and to really tune us into the true purpose of what these energy enhancement systems are for. This is to help reawaken our systems, but also to plug us into the heart of Mother Earth and to raise our collective frequencies. So without saying too much more, I want to turn the stage over to Paul himself. Jay, are we ready? Everyone give a big warm welcome. There he is. Hi, Paul. Send Paul some love. We can't hear you. You're still muted.
I am muted. And here we go with the music. Do you guys have everything?
Is everyone? Oh, really quick reminder, cell phones off, eye masks on, sitting up, get everything out of your field that's going to be a distraction, and come into that place of total presence. And I will see you after the meditation. Thank you, Paul. It's lovely to see you.
Thank you guys for
turning it over to you.
Thank you. What we'll do is I'll just do a quick introduction of myself, and then we're going to turn the lights in our center off. We've got a few of our members joining us today, so they all say hello around the world. There's some very esteemed people joining us as well, that is part of this community. My background, she kind of briefly said, I've been teaching energy for probably about 30 years, meditations. I started out with Reiki and have just moved around all different genres and styles. So this meditation will be somewhat of a more like a class environment. I'll have you guys close your eyes. I'll walk you through some energy sets, and then I intuitively tune into you guys and see where your energy's at. So what I do is I set an energy out there as a desire or an expectation, or I just intuit where we can go as a collective around the planet and bring the energy up. We don't have to go super high in vibration to make these things work. But this meditation will be probably something different than each of you have experienced so far. We're going to work with the energy of our systems. And so we're going to have fun with that. There's nothing that we're going to do in here that cannot be undone. So we're going to ground all of your centers. That's kind of the start, and we're going to energize them. If you guys feel like you don't like it, you can just simply undo it, or you can call me, get in touch with me, and I will do it for you. Everything is done with intention and thought and visualization. Very, very simple. So with that, I think I'll go ahead and put my headset on and we'll get started. And we'll turn off the lights. And I think they probably will have some nice graphics for you while we're doing the meditation. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'd like to start with a little prayer. May it be with the blessings of the Supreme Being that this meditation will benefit each of us in our spiritual growth, awareness, and understanding. So it is. So I'll talk to you guys about intentionality, which we talk about in the EE ecosystem. We like people to set their intentions when they come in for whatever they're looking to do. They're trying to manifest wealth, abundance, health, which is very important. You've got to have the right mindset. So we're going to take everybody to the intention that we're going to connect all centers as one ecosystem. And we're going to start out with some exercises with you personally, with your own body, and get you grounded in the planet. There's a lot of different ways that you can ground. I'm going to recommend that today we do it from the tip of our tailbone. If you'd like to ground from your feet, that is fine as well. The tip of the tailbone is also an area around the first chakra where survival energy sits. So right now, I'd like everybody to close their eyes, tune in, recognize that the consciousness that you're bringing into your body right now sits in the middle of your head, literally in the middle of your brain. And from here, I'd like you to just visualize what the tip of your tailbone looks like. And then from there, I would like you to grow a root. Just allow it to happen with your intention and visualization. And send that root all the way down to the very, very core center of the planet. However that occurs to you and looks for you is just fine. Could be a boulder or a lake or a void, but we're just going to grow that root all the way down to the center of the planet. Allow yourselves to feel that connection. And the great thing about this is we can release energy through these grounding cords. We don't really have to do much besides using our intentions, as gravity will do a job for this as well. So we're just going to allow gravity to pull any energy that doesn't serve us in the space out of our bodies and out of our fields, down that route that goes to the very center of the planet. Just would like everybody to be with that for a moment. As you notice yourself getting more and more grounded and tied into the planet, I would like all of you to focus on your hearts. Let's just open your heart center up. We don't have to force it to be this or that. It can just be you, your pure spirit in your heart. And I'll take this trick from other people that have been before me teaching meditations. Let's go ahead and take some breaths in and out of the heart center. I'd like everybody to take in one very deep breath of compassion. Compassion for yourself, compassion for others. And as you exhale, I would like you to give the world your love. You know, those of you that are sensitive to energy may be starting to feel and experience the cohesion of this vast amount of people that we have on this call, all coming together as one. Just continue to breathe and take in compassion into the heart. And on your exhales, give love to the world. Okay. The energy feels good for this. I would like everybody to kind of bring your consciousness back up into the center of your heads. And I want you to say hello energetically from your head to the very center of the room that you're sitting in right now. Just say hello to that toroidal field that all of our centers have. Just acknowledge it. Tune into it. All the while, we're still grounded to the center of the planet. We're still breathing in compassion and breathing out love. And we're just connecting with the centers of our centers. Just be with the resonance of the center you're in right now. If you're tuning in and you're not in a center, you can just project there. There is no time and space. So you are here with us now. We were all in this together. This meditation will also work from the recording. You should be able to experience this and do this at your own center. Okay. I'd like everybody to check in with that grounding root once more that's going to the center of the planet. We're going to use that same visualization, except this time we're going to put that root, that grounding cord, on all of our towers and all of our computers in the center. And we're going to ground with the root all of the towers in the center that you're currently sitting in, all the way to the center of the planet. My intention for this is for this grounding to stay in effect permanently. And there's some tools we'll use toward the end of the meditation for that. Again, this is all by your free will. If anybody wants to disconnect this, they can do it with no problem. If you think you're having a problem, just give me a call and we'll walk through it. But for now, we're taking those grounding roots from the bottom of our computers or our towers, sending it all the way to the center of the planet. Some of you may be starting to feel a shift from where the ecosystem of we have been over the last few months to a little bit of a different frequency as the centers align themselves to the planet. Now we'll get ourselves back in the mix again. We'll go back to our heart space, knowing that we're still grounded ourselves to the center of the planet. All of our units and screens and computers are all grounded to the center of the planet. It's that cohesion that's coming in. And we're going to amplify that now. So I'd like you guys all to create a mental image in your mind of a heart. Could be any kind of heart that you like. Specifically, I would like the men to make their hearts the color of blue, and for the ladies to make the color of their hearts red. So I just want you to create that image as a bit of a, just like it's real. It is real. And I want you to send that heart into the very center of the room, inside of that toroidal field. Notice the reaction in your body and how it feels to have your heart centered in the room. And we're going to take this to the next step. We're going to take the image of that heart and we're going to spin it. For the men, we're going to spin it clockwise. For the ladies, we're going to spin it counterclockwise. All you have to do is direct this with your consciousness. And just take a couple of minutes to let those hearts spin congruently in opposite directions in the same space, in the center of the toroidal field in your rooms. Just kind of want to give those hearts a little nudge to gain speed. Let's just go ahead and take those hearts and spin them at the speed of sound. If you don't know the number, it's okay. You just need to make the intention. So now they're spinning very fast. And you might notice that the red and the blue are merging and turning into a beautiful purple. That is the vibration that we are using for this. So let's just let that run on its own for a second and have everybody check in again with their grounding, their personal grounding from the tailbone to the center of the planet. Make sure you're still taking nice deep breaths in and out of the heart center. And just see those hearts in the center of your room spinning. Now we're going to take it to the speed of light. We're going to spin those hearts at the speed of light inside the toroidal field in the center of your rooms. Some of you may notice how that feels in your body. All these people that are here with you, all creating the same thing, bringing into alignment our centers with the planet. So there's a couple of more steps. The next step, we'll do some grounding, but it'll be a little different. Your centers will still be grounded from the racks and the units and the computers with the root, just like you are. But we're going to ground the toroidal field with a beam of light. It can look however it manifests in your mind's eye. Just allow this to occur. So you've got the heart spinning at the speed of light in the center of your toroidal field. And you now have a beam of light from the toroidal field going all the way to the center of the earth. Let's continue to breathe. So we're breathing in compassion. And now we're going to breathe out love into the center of that toroidal field and create a cycle. Breathing in compassion, breathing out love into the center of your toroidal field. Your toroidal fields are all grounded. I can feel quite the difference here in our center. It feels light. It feels warm. So now there's one last step that we're going to do for our centers. Just as we've connected our centers, our toroidal fields, all of our equipment into the center of the planet, we're now going to connect the toroidal fields to each other. And again, if this is something that you do not wish to do, you do not have to do this at your center, and you can always undo it. But for now, let's just take that same color beam of light, however it shows up for you, that we're using to ground the toroidal field to the center of the planet. Let's just allow all of those to connect. The center of our room here in Colorado, connecting with the center right up the road from us in Boulder, and all the way back to Kinetic, to Emily Center, to One Heart, to Alistair's in London. I don't have a screen full of names to call everybody out, but all of your centers connecting with divine light into the center of the toroidal field. Grounded, activated as one. The intention is to make all of our systems that much more powerful, that much more conducive to people getting what they need when they come. As center owners, you know, we don't own this, our members do. And they're here with you today, helping strengthen your center as we come together as one. And now that we've got this in motion, it would be nice if it stayed that way. If we could somehow make the speed of light in the hearts continue to spin in the center of our own centers, and to stay grounded to the center of the planet. And we're going to use the power of the sun and the moon to do that. No, that may sound silly, but we're going to create a perpetual motion around this ecosystem that we just connected with every other center. It's almost like winding a watch. They have those self-winding watches that, if as long as you wear it and are moving around and has motion, it will stay wound up and you don't have to touch it. It's kind of the same concept I'm going for here. So what we want to do is we just want to ask permission from the moon to give it that extra special little bit of attention as it makes its transits through the sky, to keep our watches wound, to keep the perpetual motion of the hearts that are in each of our centers that's sending that grounding into the center of the planet and the connection from our toroidal fields to one another. And center owners, if you would like to go one step further, if you feel like your center has a particular color or vibration that it likes, you may ask the center of your room to favor that color. It's just kind of our way of taking a little bit of ownership of our centers and our spaces. As owners, we have to be aware of what goes on in our centers, how people are reacting, how they're healing. And when you're in tune vibrationally with that toroidal field, it's just a little easier to connect. Okay, so I'm going to start talking us back out of trance. What I want everybody to do, you can keep your grounding cords, they're free. Also a cool way to do it, I never get out of bed without sending that root down to the center of the planet. Every day. Let's find your consciousness back up to the center of your head. Now, all of you that have participated have put some energy into this. Your intentions speak. So I'm going to walk you through a quick exercise that you can use any day for any reason to bring your own energy back and neutralize it. And what I mean by that is that we leave so much energy out there in the world. A good example would be getting upset at the guy that cut you off in the car. You're just mad for just that couple of seconds. Well, you threw some energy at him. So we're going to call back our energy and we're going to neutralize it because we don't want the anger back. We don't necessarily even want it to be like joy. We just want it to be neutral so that our bodies can use the energy however it sees fit. So we're just going to call this energy back above our heads. Let's just bring it back into above our heads into a giant ball that looks like a sun. And we're going to ask this energy of yours to vibrate at the color of gold, which is neutral. And then if you will, just allow that sun to set into the top of your head. And your crown chakra will know exactly where to put the energy in your body. And if you guys are ready to open your eyes, take a deep breath. Say hello to your neighbors. Don't forget to hug your center owners before you leave. And with that, we'll call this meditation complete. Any of you feel free to reach out to me if you have questions, or if you would like to play with this in any different way. There's a lot of things you can do with energy and your thoughts, and we just did a very, very big thing. So I hope that all of you have some fun experiences in your centers. We'll be very curious to see in the chat groups afterwards what you guys have experienced. We'd love to hear from you. And on that note, I will turn this back over to Emily. Thank you guys very much for having me on. I'm going to turn my music off now.
All right. Slowly move your limbs. Slowly take a nice big deep breath. Have a sip of water. And gently come back into this moment.
Everybody still here? All right. Hope that wasn't too crazy for you guys.
There we go. Come back into this moment. Seems like my camera is not working, so give us just a minute. Maybe this is a good time to, again, take a big sip of water, have a nice heart-to-heart hug, pour some of that love into your community, into each other. We're gonna, as they're getting my camera ready, everyone should hang tight for just a minute. We're gonna close out and round out this entire experience with a little bit about what we're gonna do next month with Dr. Jenny Shu, and with a little grounding process to secure our love into our Mother Earth and send some of it to the planet before we part ways. We are still not sure where my camera went. Also, if you need to take a bathroom break, maybe we should do that. Jay, you want to go on bathroom break for 5 minutes? Okay, we're going to take a 5-minute bathroom break, and we will see you all back literally at noon sharp. And we will again close out this sacred container with a beautiful heart-opening, earthing, grounding process. See you in a few.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
making your way back to your seats. We're about to get started.
And you hear me? There we go. Welcome back, everyone. I hope that was a nice little refreshing bathroom break. Thank you so much, Paul, for leading us through that beautiful process. Before we close out the event today, we're going to be doing an actual closed eye to send some love to the planet and to anchor ourselves back into the heart of Mother Earth. But I want to go over a couple of things about our next event. We have the privilege of having Dr. Jenny Shu, the expert on our panel from today. She's going to be coming back and doing an entire event. Jay, will you put up the flyer for everyone to see? There we go. This is going to be broadcast on January 5th. We did look at the date to consider, does the holiday fall on it or not? Technically, it sort of does, but it's actually, the first is on Wednesday, and this is plenty of time for everyone to get back from any travels or plans or hangovers or anything that you might have. Hopefully not the latter. But anyway, she's going to be doing a beautiful event for us. The education portion is going to be on youth and vitality using the EE system and integrating science and spirituality, which, as we learned today, that's really what this is all about. The two are not separate, they're one and the same. And there's going to be a beautiful meditation process that she's going to take us on. She has a background in the Hona healing, and so she's going to be helping us activate and optimize our mitochondria and cellular function in the quantum field. I know you probably heard her mention that there's a 24th chromosome that's actually a quantum chromosome, so it's not discernible by our modern science yet in the three-dimensional space-time reality that we live in. However, she's going to be taking us on a process to be activating that aspect of us, because again, that is where all true health and wellness and vitality come from. It comes from our energy body first, what's happening in the spiritual planes. Even in our world right now, what's happening in the spiritual planes is what we're seeing reflect. So that's going on the global scene. It's also going on your individualized ecosystem body scene. So very, very, very excited to bring her back. We are privileged, honored and grateful, and we're excited to reconnect with you the first weekend in January of 2025. We have a big year ahead of us. There are so many changes and metamorphosis happening. So we really value this time to be together to continue our spiritual evolution. So I just wanted to give you all, again, the most appreciation, honor, and love for showing up for yourselves, showing up for this collective. And it's been truly like one of the most, I don't even really know what wording to put on it. It's been awe and wonderment, love and gratitude, so much learning, so much growth in the last 7 months since I started this journey with you all. So it is truly a privilege to be the gatekeeper of our sacred container, but every one of us is a steward of the space that we create at every single event. So I think I want to give a little instructions about what our ending process. We're never going to leave this event without an ending process. We kind of evolved that as we went this year. And oh, thank you. Dr. Shu is leaving a message. I can see it on my screen. Yes, we're very much looking forward to having you. And thank you, huge thank you to our expert panel, Dom, Jay, Alistair, Dr. Shu. just huge thank you to all of you. You all provided so much wisdom. I was privileged and honored to learn so much from you today. And I look forward to continuing strengthening, E-System gatekeepers and stewards. I look forward to strengthening. I think 2025, we're all being called. This event was showing us that we're being called to come together and to strengthen our collective, because there are so many gifts amongst ourselves, amongst what we're all doing. We all have a unique story and a unique journey, and so there will be more ways for all of us to continue to connect. I will personally be behind some of that. And I would like to join Jay and Dom in your BioWell meetings. I would love to get a hold of that. For any of you that want to get plugged into our expert panel and to our meditation leader, I will be putting everyone's information, their websites, all of their links. It will be going on our One Heart Collective Global Family Group. Jay, would you mind putting up the banner just so that everyone can visually see? There we go. So if you can't scan one of these, I understand that sometimes you don't have your cell phones inside the room. Down at the bottom, the handle One Heart Collective 88. All you have to do is do the little @ sign and type that into any of the social medias. So Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. If you type in One Heart Collective 88, all one word, it will take you to our playlist that we play during the meditations. We're going to be loading this event for the public on our YouTube channel. So go ahead and subscribe and join our YouTube channel. I have all of the break music. A lot of people ask me, what is this music? I'm enjoying this song. I am actively adding songs that are elevating my world, my home, my vibration. I'm actively adding those songs to our playlist because I want to share that with all of you. I think music is a very, very powerful frequency carrier wave. So even just the songs we're using in our collective, we're broadcasting information and frequency to everyone now who's listening to that same song. So I have a whole playlist called Coming Home to Happiness, and that's the break music that we play. So if you want to continue this process of connecting to our collective and bringing this vibration into your everyday life and into your everyday home, I highly suggest that you get involved with the music. And then again, I will be posting in our One Heart Collective Global Family Group all of the ways you guys can plug into our guest panels. If you accidentally go to our One Heart Collective Gatekeeper only, please do not be upset if I do not approve you. We always get an influx of people trying to get into that group. It's our organizing group. It's very boring in there. It's just like an email got missing, or here's the registration link. It's not anything that you're missing out on, and I'm not having you in there for any reason other than all the fun action, the non-organizing these events as center owners. All of the fun public and all of our collective is in the Global Family Group. So again, if you accidentally find yourself at a Gatekeepers only One Heart Collective, that's just for center stewards. Please go to our global family. So we look forward to staying even more connected with you. And there are more things coming down the pipeline. I'm getting downloads every day about ways to further grow our connection and the way that I can bring more people to help elevate our consciousness. Because when we bring our mind, our third eye, our hearts, our consciousness into alignment with the heart, if we were able to keep awe and wonder in this part of our body, in this part of our energy centers, and our third eye and our crown, if we were able to quiet down the survival mind and move into those creative states of awe and wonder, we start to expand our field. And when we keep our heart in love and gratitude, that's the secret formula. There are all of these speakers and leaders and formulas and systems, and they're very complicated to get to this idea of wholeness, or to get to this idea of oneness, or to get to this idea of being in alignment. And those are some of the easiest ways the HeartMath Institute has researched head and heart coherence being one of the key foundations to our body and our energy field thriving and helping the body naturally cleanse these other lower distortions. So the more we can be, again, feeding the mind with that awe and that wonder, getting rid of the Netflix and watching the same thing on repeat with different faces, the same story, the same narrative, the more we can unplug from that and tune into better forms of entertainment and news. Unified TV is a wonderful resource. Gaia is a wonderful resource. There are many platforms that are going into this independent form of science, languaging, spirituality, news reporting. So the more we can plug into things that encourage that awe and wonderment, as Dom and Jay were saying, the detox process, it starts with our energy. It starts with our consciousness. So I invite all of you to, as you're making your New Year's resolutions and you're looking forward into what is 2025 really going to be, I invite you into doing some of that emotional, spiritual detoxing, just in your environment. You know, you don't even have to go into deep mental models of where are your emotions at. Just start cleansing out all the mental junk food and start feeding yourself with things that, again, encourage awe and wonderment. The real science that's being discovered right now, it's mind expanding. It all leads back to these same coherent, cohesive truths of creation. So I know I'm kind of rambling right now, but it is my greatest vision that we all just continue to stay strong and steadfast. There's going to be a lot of rocks and bumps in our beautiful journey to this greater world that we're all creating. But when we come back to that, again, that connection that we have within our hearts, that connection that we have to awe and wonderment in our minds, that's where we can find the faith. Stand still and be ready to see the grace and glory unfold. So before we get going on our final closing process, I want to give you all a little bit of explanation. We are going to be standing up if you're able. This is going to be sort of similar to what we did last month if you were on last month. I know a lot of you had to go. We went a little bit over time, and I got a lot of feedback. I didn't get to do the ending process, so we're doing a variation of that. It's a little bit different, but I want to give you all the instructions. If you're able to, we are going to stand up. And everyone's going to come together, if they're able to, in a circle. And before we lock arms, but I'm going to give you instructions when we are at a point in this process, we are going to lock arms, and we're going to have our hands over our hearts while we're locking arms and while we're in a circle, because we're going to be connecting. But before we do that, everyone just come to a standing position. If you're not able to stand, then I would like to ask two of you who are to go and be on either side of the person who is unable to stand, so that they're also in a collective of people. And if they're on their back, then I would like two of you to get on your backs and be next to them as well during this process. We want everyone to be able to connect with at least three of you during the process. If you are by yourself, picture someone you love on one side who's still living, and picture someone who is on the other side of you. It's a lot of other sides, but I think you guys know what I mean. And share this energy and this heart frequency that we're gonna go through with people quantumly, because that's still going to be a very strong connection. I think my microphone just skipped. Okay, so what we're going to do before we get started, everyone, again, Jay, if you want to show the rooms, I love to see the rooms and all the people. Give everyone a moment. We're going to get on our feet, come to a standing position, be in a space where it will be easy to come together. I don't know if you guys need to move anything around. I'll give you a minute. And then, yeah, we are going to close out this beautiful sacred container after we open the hearts and send some love to Mama Earth. You got it? Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's take a nice, slow, deep breath in, all the way up into the heart. There you go. And now just gently let it out. There we go. Take another slow, deep breath in. And slowly let it out. I want you to take just a minute and reflect on everything about your week, your day, your month, your year. Go on a little journey and just reflect on what brought you to this moment right here, right now. all of the moments that had to happen just to get you here right now. Just become into awareness with all of that. Thank yourself for everything that you've done. All the steps, all the times you didn't give up, all the times you kept going. Just take a moment right now and come into full presence with you. Beautiful. Now slowly and gently, put your hands over your heart. Start to feel your heart beating. Take a nice slow deep breath. Hold it at the top and gently release all the way down. Your heart beats for you 100,000 times a day, and you don't have to ask it for anything, and it still gives you life. Just take a moment and be present. Be present with the beauty of this sacred organ and this sacred part of your energy. Bless yourself. You are a miracle. That's it. Take another slow, deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Now come into a circle with everyone in your room. Lock arms. Take a nice slow deep breath when you get locked arms. And put your hands back over your heart. Start to feel your heart synchronizing with everybody in your circle, or everybody on either side of you. Start to tune into their heart. Feel one heartbeat. Tune into everyone's heart and feel one heartbeat. And take another deep breath in and let it all the way out. Now I want all of you as one heart to picture Mother Earth right in the middle of your circle or right in front of you. Feel your heartbeat connecting to her heartbeat. Feel us connect with Mother Nature, Mother Earth, one heart. Feel the heartbeat. That's it. There you go. I feel all of us. One heart. Keep synchronizing to our Mother with one heart. There you go. You're beautiful. Now pour this beautiful love into every one of our children on earth. Feel our heartbeats synchronize with their heartbeats. All those who are lost, who are in pain, who can't feel their heart, synchronize our heart with theirs. We are one heart. From Mother Earth, through us, to them, we are one heart. That's it. Keep breathing. Keep feeling your heart. It's one heart. Now let this liquid, brilliant, green energy that's emanating out of your chest cover the entire earth, all of the animals, all of the oceans, all of the people, all of the vegetation. See it all being covered in liquid, brilliant, golden and green energy emanating from the heart of Mother Earth through us, flooding, transmuting, washing away all of the pain. Let it all go now. See it washing over everything and everyone so that all life can feel this heartbeat. Feel this love, feel this oneness. That's it, keep breathing. This is oneness. You're doing so well. Just bask and bathe in this beauty for a minute. And keep breathing and keep letting these waters of love pour through every cell of your being as they flood our entire family. Keep feeling one heart, one heartbeat. We are one heart. That's it. Now I want you to gently and slowly come back into this present moment and slowly open your eyes. Look at everybody in your circle. Feel all of our global family. Look into the eyes of everyone around you. Thank them for sharing this sacred space with you today. Thank them for sharing their heart. I want 3 people to give a hug for 20 seconds or longer, heart to heart. Hold each other, embrace each other. 20 seconds each, heart to heart. Hug and connect. Know that you are one. Remember to keep breathing. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Show you all are stunning. We have 20 more seconds of hugs. Yeah, there we go. There we go. This is the One Heart Collective, and I couldn't picture ending our year in a more beautiful way with more beautiful people. There we go. Such a privilege to get to see you all over the world. Such a privilege, such a blessing. Cherish these moments. If you're by yourself, give yourself a hug. All right. All right, everyone. Well, it's never truly goodbye. It's always just see you next time. I thank you so much for spending this time together. We absolutely consider this one of the highest privileges and honors to be able to lead this global movement. You are the movement, though, and today I hope you learned new things. I hope you expanded something in your consciousness, but more than everything, I hope that you are able to connect to the inner temple that is you, your heart. I will see you all in 2025. I love you. I thank you. From the bottom of my heart to yours. Have a blessed day.